What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite YouTuber, Austin Holloman. And if you guys don't know who I am, like I said, I'm Austin Holloman. I am a digital nomad. I've been to 25 countries and 45 cities, I believe is the exact number that I've been to around the world. In Asia, Europe, Latin America, Africa, and the only place I really haven't been to is Australia. And I was born in North America, so I don't really count that one in. But I was born here, so I've been to 5 continents around the world. I've been gone for nearly 2 years. It'll be 2 years, October 22nd of this year. I believe it's October 16th of this year in 2024 will make my second year that I've been gone abroad. And it's been a fairly easy and fairly difficult journey. So if you guys have not already, like the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and hit the notification bell so you can be informed as soon as I drop every video, and you can support the channel just by watching the videos. Now, how has it been a easy journey? For me, this is easy to do because I just feel mentally I'm built for the nomadic lifestyle, and especially doing it in the public. You know, most people that are digital nomads aren't YouTubers. I am. I'm built to sit here and take all this ridiculous, idiotic criticism that I get. I'm getting to a point where now it's just not even going to exist anymore. By the way, if you guys want to talk to Austin Holloman, I do not respond on Twitter anymore. You're lucky if I'm doing that. I do not respond to Instagram DMs. I do not respond to YouTube comments. If you want to talk to me, you literally need to go to the booking link that'll be below, and you're going to have to speak to my assistant first because I am way too accessible. I have 100,000 subscribers and I don't act like it, but that shit is stopping now. You can't reach out to many other YouTubers that are at this point as well. So yeah, no, I'm gonna start behaving arrogant and cocky when it comes to that point. Now, if you meet me in person, I won't be an asshole, but I'm just saying I'm done responding because usually seems the majority of my time the responses that I'm responding to aren't even worth my energy me responding to. Now, how has this been hard? I'm gonna get into a list of reasons, a list of things of what it's like to be a digital nomad, and so many things are hard for me. For example, like constantly resetting, constantly being somewhere for a week or 10 days or 2 weeks or a month, and then just saying, okay, let me go to the next spot. It gets mentally exhausting constantly traveling, having cultural norms that you may not understand or that you may refuse to deal with. You know, in some places, people are just very rude to each other. I've become very passive about it. Just, I don't really spend my energy debating with people anymore. But at some point, it does get excessive, and it's not something you really want to deal with. And this isn't usually my problem in most places that I go to, because most places I go to, I do know the language. I speak English. I speak a good amount of Portuguese. And I know enough Spanish to live somewhere. But I'm not fluent enough in Spanish to write a letter. Maybe I could do that, but basically I know Portuguese way better than I know Spanish, and I know Ebonics just as good as I know regular English. So I speak 4 languages. Now, that may be an issue for some of you. Some of you guys don't like to learn another language. Then you need to pick wisely on where you go, because most countries around the world don't have English as their first language. It's a very select amount of places you can go to where if you only know English, your life won't be difficult. So we'll get into that. Now, the first point is cultural immersion. Cultural immersion is something that is exhausting if you're doing it the way how I'm doing it. So, for example, when I first left on October 16, 2022, I was in Thailand for 2 weeks in Pattaya. I had to adjust to how people do things there, the whole Sodi cop, all that. I had to get used to that, how polite they were. And then I went across to the other side of the world and went to Brazil. I was there for 3 months. I jumped to 3 cities while I was there, but I spent the majority of my time in Salvador. I had to adjust to that. Then I went back to Thailand. I went to 4 cities where each city was not completely different, but they're fairly different than each other. Then I went to the Philippines for 3 weeks. Then I went to Vietnam for 10 days. Then I went to Cambodia for 10 days. Then I went back to Thailand. Then I went to Tanzania for 5 weeks. Then I went to Kenya for 10 days. 10 days Uganda, Rwanda. Then I went back to Kenya for another 2 months. Went to Zambia, Ghana, Senegal. When you get to adjusting to different people like that constantly, it becomes fun because it becomes fun to date different women and get a taste of the variety, try a variety of foods, listen to a variety of music. That gets good. But I'm at a point now where it's like, now I've seen so much. Like, okay, I landed in a new city, it's all nice. I'm like, now I'm super critical about it. I'm like, I'm not really too impressed. It's just at this point, this is just me. Oh, I'm just in the next city now, and yeah, immersion into a different culture is just not as pleasant as it was before. It's become annoying when people don't do things the way that the last country did. I got used to how people behaved at first I didn't like how people behaved in Sao Paulo too much. Like, it wasn't what I was used to in Brazil. Then I got used to it after 5 weeks. Then I left. I went to Manaus. I was like, oh, I like how they do things here. And then I got used to that. Then I left and I went to Lisbon. Guys, if you're gonna do not do what I'm doing. Like, if you can't handle constantly resetting, you probably need to stay in one place for 6 months to a year. If you have travel, here's what I don't like. There's a difference between an expat and a fucking digital nomad. If you have been in the same city for 3 years, you are not a digital nomad. We are not. A nomad doesn't live in one place that long. Okay? I'm the true definition of a nomad. Like, I am a nomad. Like, I don't stay anywhere for longer than 3 months. And there's only a handful of places I've stayed that long, where I spent that much time in total since I started traveling. Now, this is also a problem with dating, because the way how people do things, that cultural immersion is an issue with dating. So, for example, in Manaus, the women were very fast paced. I had no problems. No flakiness, none of that. I mean, it happens everywhere, but it wasn't really flaky or nothing like that. Whenever I was in Sao Paulo, the flakiness was crazy. Okay, where I was at before that in Lima, the flakiness was not an issue. I don't even think I got flaked on when I was in Lima, Peru. And we all know most people are gonna. I don't know who prefers a flaky culture, but most people probably would prefer for people to show up on time and stick to their word. So if you become a digital nomad, let's say you stay somewhere for 3 months where they're not flaky in dating, and then you go somewhere else and then it's flaky. That for me, it's okay. It's okay, but I've been enough places now where I'm ready to just stay in one place. I have a preference, a place I like to go to. So about being a digital nomad, if you guys should not be a digital nomad if you have a problem with detachment and you have a problem connecting with people, meeting very good women or good men, whoever you are, you're meeting a very good person, and then it's like, oh no, I have to go for work. For me, it's YouTube, so I have to go at some point. And plus, yeah, I just don't have an interest in staying somewhere that long right now. So at times, I wish I stayed some places longer, and I do go back to those places still, but you have to be built for that lifestyle. So make sure you can take into consideration of leaving people not believing that you would stay somewhere. Some women, for example, won't believe that you live somewhere until you're there a fucking year. I don't know. Now, if you ask me, I think they're just full of shit. I think they're just not interested in you. I don't give a damn how traditional and how much she looks like she's ready to sweep the floor and go to church. It doesn't take a year for somebody to figure out about you. Anyway, language troubles. Like I said before, if you guys only know English, which you do know English if you're watching this and you understand what I'm saying, if you guys are comfortable with only going to certain parts of Europe, specific, mainly Western Europe. I'm in Turkey right now. There's a lot of tourists. I can tell you right now, if you don't know Turkish, there can be troubles at times. Not everybody in here knows English. You can pretty much cross South America off your list. Like in Sao Paulo, a lot of people speak English as well. But if you do not know Portuguese in Sao Paulo, you will have a very, very frustrating time. There is only so many people in Brazil that speak that speak English. Even in Chile, a lot of people didn't speak English. Yes, you do find these people, but not enough to move there without knowing Spanish or Portuguese. Going to Latin America. So if you ask me, if it's outside of Belize or Jamaica, you can pretty much cross that off the list. In my opinion, for the way how I like to live my life, you can cross Latin America off the list. Okay? And if now you are very open to about 50% of Africa, because we know pretty much half of Africa was colonized by the English. So you can go to Nairobi, you can go to Kenya, you can go to Uganda. Rwanda was not colonized by the English, but everybody there knew English. You can go to Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Ghana, Nigeria. I believe Sierra Leone, Tanzania. There's a lot of, and that's not even all of them. There's a lot of places you can go to in Africa if you don't want to learn English. But some people have a problem with going to Africa as well. That's on you. Now, if you go to Western Europe, for example, if you go to Lisbon, Portugal, even there, I would say you would need to know Portuguese. You can get by with just Portuguese, with just English, but it's gonna limit you to a certain part of the city. Because I noticed whenever I traveled to certain parts of Lisbon, people didn't know English. Okay, in Spain too, it was the same thing where a lot of people. It just when I was in Madrid, so you need to be prepared to learn another language. Now, for example, for me, I only prefer to learn the colonizers' language: French, Portuguese, Spanish, and that's pretty much in English. That's pretty much all you need to know. The other colonies were colonizers were pretty much useless because apparently they didn't have that much territory. If you know French, English, Portuguese, and Spanish, you can pretty much go anywhere in the world and never have an issue. Some people are like, well, you're in Turkey, you don't know Turkish. Yeah, also, when I leave Turkey, Turkish stops. Yeah, that's why I don't learn Turkish. That's why I'd never learn Thai. You know, some people say, well, you gotta learn the language and get immersed in the culture. I'm not learning what I would consider to be a useless language. I don't learn languages that stick in one country. If I'm a nomad, why would I want to learn a language? I might as well learn 200 languages at that point. I might as well learn every fucking language that exists. If I'm a learner, I mean, that means I would have to know Romanian, I would have to know Polish, I would have to know Thai, Vietnamese, Tagalog, Khmer, Twi, I mean, Wolof. There's been so many languages I've encountered, and the base language that we could all communicate was French, Spanish, English, Portuguese. You only need to know at least, in my opinion, Spanish and Portuguese are more important than French. Unless if you're living in Africa, you're not really going to be speaking French in too many other places around the world. But if you learn Spanish, you have all of Latin America, you have one country in Africa, and you have Spain. You know, Portuguese, you can go to Mozambique, Angola, Brazil, Sao Tome, East Timor, and Cabo Verde Islands, and you can go to Portugal with that. So you can learn those three languages, Portuguese, Spanish, and English, and get by. It'll make your digital nomad journey either very limited or very inconvenient if you don't know the language in these places, or if you don't pick the right place that is for you, because you don't want to learn another language because you're being lazy. Now, if you guys are interested in becoming a digital nomad and you are looking for remote income, you're looking for how to pick the right place, if you're looking for what culture is right for you, because hey, I speak English. Ghana, that culture over there was not for me. You know, the way how people did things there, you know, it wasn't for me. So I have enough experience to tell you guys, based off of who you are and what your expectations are, where should you go? What continent, what country, what city? Okay, which place is right for you? Or what type of women do you like to date? Are you interested in dating abroad? I can give you advice on that. I can coach you one-on-one on that. And I've already had, so far, 3 people sign up in the past week to be part of my membership program. Remember, this is a high-ticket item. Okay, unless if you're interested in building remote income, this is not for you if you only have $100 to spend. This is going to be a product that's in the thousands, okay? So this is for people that have money already to spend, but they just need some extra advice on going abroad. Now, if you guys are interested in joining a community of like-minded people that are doing the same thing that I am doing, and you don't have thousands of dollars to spend, you can sign up for my membership program, a subscription community, and you will get a list of videos from me that would give you some advice on things you should do, some things that I've learned that's not on YouTube. and you'll be part of the community, and you will get a weekly Q&A call. But if you get the one-on-one coaching, it's going to cost more, but you get to talk to me on a daily basis directly. So if you're interested in either one of those, the subscription service and the one-on-one coaching will be down in the booking link below. You will book a call and speak with someone from my team, and it will be a $20 fee for the consultation because I don't have time for people that are not serious. I only deal with serious, high interest inquiries only. Now, let's get back to the video. Let's talk about finances, right? The biggest benefit to being a digital nomad is the cost of living. You save a lot of money by moving to a place like Kenya, Thailand, Brazil, especially Colombia, Argentina for sure. You know, a lot of these places you go to, you can literally live off of 2,000. You can survive, meaning that you won't be hungry, you won't be thirsty, you won't be missing anything that's a necessity, and $2,000 will pretty much cover it in most of these places we go to. Now, if you want to thrive and be smoking cigars and eating out three times a day, you know, and catching Ubers and going on dates, I would say you need no less than $2,500, but I would even say $3,500 to $4,000. You know, $3,500 to $4,000, which is very doable. Very doable. So that's one benefit, but if it depends on how frequent you're traveling. So for example, whenever I moved to Nairobi, Kenya, I got a 3-month lease. That entire lease probably cost me, I paid $1,500 down payment for the first and the last month, and then I had 1 month in between that to pay. So I probably spent maybe $2,100 in total on that lease, right? So about $2,100 around that, or more or less, that I spent on that lease. And me staying there said, okay, $2,100 pays for everything. If I would have went through Airbnb, I would have spent $2,100 for the month, every single month. So that's not a good idea. 3-month lease, $2,100, and then I spent way more than this, but I could have spent $1,500 to $2,000. I could have pretty much lived in Kenya for 3 months and had a great life for less than $6,000-$7,000. You could do that. So you can save on finances, but it takes planning. Okay, if you're doing what I'm doing, I'm spending a lot of money being a place for less than a month, and then depending on where I'm at, and then jumping to the next place. You know, flights are more expensive when you buy them, you know, a week before, days before. You know, a flight from here to Kenya a month in advance was only $600 one way. If I wait until a week before, you know, being a impulsive digital nomad, which I do quite often, like, oh, okay, I'm done, I'm ready to leave. If you have that mindset, that $600 turns into $1,800 for a one-way ticket. So you have to plan, you have to pick the right place, and of course, you need a good amount of income. Like I said, $4,000, you should be able to live a very good life in most countries around the world, except places like Spain. Yeah, you're not. That was more expensive than being in Dallas when I was in Madrid. And Madrid is not even as expensive as Barcelona from what I've heard. Now you can, doing this, let's say you were making 10, 15 grand a month and you somehow managed to do that through remote income. You're still making money online, remotely. Now, if you have the discipline to not spend all that excess money you got laying around. So let's say you're making 10 grand a month and you're living in Buenos Aires, where you can literally live for like $1,100 a month and be doing very well for $1,100 a month. You now can literally save 90% of your income. So you can get further ahead in life. Like if you could keep that discipline, which would be very hard, for 12 months straight, and you could save 9 grand per month, which I don't expect anybody to do this. So let's lower it down to 8. Okay? That's $96,000 you could save in 1 year, making $10,000 a month. Which anywhere in the United States, that would be impossible. Like you would have to be living with your parents rent free, and even gas in the car and groceries you wouldn't be able to save that much, right? Now you can get ahead. If, in my opinion, if you guys are looking to save money and you guys are looking to pay everything off your credit or do a lot of investing, or if you want to grow your business at a faster rate, move out of the fucking United States. It's too expensive there. It's too expensive. You can save and invest a lot more and pay off debt way faster. Like when I was living in Dallas, it cost me $5,000 per month, and I was making around 10 grand per month. So I was spending half of my income just to run the business and live. Okay? Now, if I would have been making that same amount per se, and I moved to Argentina, I could save 8 or 9 grand, even 7 grand is still great per month, or I could invest or do something with it. So when you move abroad, you still want to have that American maximize, be all you can be, maximize your income. That way you can get far ahead in your finances. And that's one of the hugest benefits besides dating to being abroad. Taxes. If your profit is less than about $118,000 or $120,000 per year, profit, taxes are pretty much non-existent for you. Like as an expat, if you are living in a certain country or if you are out of the United States for a certain majority of the year, I believe it's like 330 days throughout the year. If you're out of the United States for that amount of time, up to 118 or is it 100? It's something around 118, $120,000 in profit, not gross income. Meaning that after you do all your write-offs, did you profit $120,000 or more? If you did, then you owe tax just the same way you would in the United States. If your profit was only 50 grand that year, which is a lot to profit, right? Meaning that you kept 50, you should have 50 grand to show in the bank account per se at the end of the year. They won't even tax you on that. So a lot of people that don't know anything about taxes come to my thing and say, "Oh, you gotta remember Uncle Sam." Listen, dude, even when I was in the United States, like the whole Uncle Sam, like people really need to learn. First of all, people need to shut up if they don't actually know what they're talking about. Because there's so many ways to not pay taxes. In this, if you want to hide a secret from somebody, put it in a book. Go read the books. Read the books on how to learn how to not pay tax. Like it's not illegal. Now, of course, you won't always be able to keep it at zero, but people think just because, like, oh, also you work for YouTube, YouTube takes 30%, the government takes 30% of your check. No, the fuck they don't. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about family because most people have family and they have not. Some people go back and forth in between the United States because they love their family. They can't leave their family. They love them. Well, guess what? For me, that's not an issue because I have video chat and I have WhatsApp. You know, I can video chat my. Now, if it was 1981 or if it was 1950, no, let's just say it was sometime way back where the only way to communicate was through writing a letter to somebody, then yes, I would have to go back to the United States probably at least once a year to see my family. But I don't. Because I can video chat them. It feels like they're right there. It feels like they're right there. Even matter of fact, when I went back to go see my family back this April, it had been about 18 months I had been gone. I wasn't like, whoa, my God. Because I had been video chatting them that whole time. So there was nothing new I was seeing. Like I saw y'all yesterday on video chat before I got on the plane. You know, so now if I was just writing letters or just talking on the phone, just hearing their voice, then maybe, oh, look how big my brother has grown. Like I've been seeing him on Instagram. Like I know what he looks like. So I guess, I don't know, for me, it's not an issue. I can talk to my family daily. My family keeps up with me through my YouTube videos and Instagram. But if you have a hard time leaving your family behind to live your best life, don't do this because you will be back in no time. Now, that leads me into my next point, which is the skill of detachment. Guys, if you have a hard time, men and women, if you have a hard time going, like if you're the type of person that goes through a breakup and you almost want to blow your brains out, yeah, being a digital nomad would not be for you because you have a problem detaching. You get too emotionally attached. Like literally, I don't have everything. This suitcase I'm looking at is probably about this long, and my entire life is in that suitcase. I have nothing. I don't have anything, and that's fine with me. I'm not emotionally attached to anything. It's hard for me. I can get emotionally invested in people, But the minute somebody's like, oh, I don't like you anymore, you know, oh, I don't really want to hang out with you more, bye, fuck off, I don't give a damn. And I was like that before I was a digital nomad. That's why I said mentally I'm built for it. If you don't have that mentality, you cannot, now you can go move to another country, yes. But if you do not have that mentality of just being able to say bye and let go and let God, this nomad lifestyle is not for you. So make sure you take that into account as well. Let's talk about one thing that people like the most with Austin Holloman, which is haters. I have a lot of haters. Most of my haters are, first of all, they don't even physically look as good as me. That's one reason they hate. Most of my haters are older than my dad. You know, most of my haters did not grow up with a father figure. I can tell by the way how they speak and by the way how they use misinformation. You will have haters. This is a lifestyle everybody wants to live. Everybody wish they could be 22, 23, 24, 25, traveling when they want, where they want, how they want, talking to who they want, eating what they want, waking up on the shit that I'm doing is what everybody wants to do. And if you are not mentally, if haters are going to make you stop traveling or make you gaslight you into feeling like you're doing something bad, this is not for you. Like I said, if you guys want to speak one-on-one about becoming a digital nomad, if you're already ready to become a digital nomad, you're looking for the right place, you're looking for any advice on living abroad, or you need any assistance, I have a one-on-one coaching program that will be below where you guys can book, and you will speak, and we will get you onboarded, and we will get you started. It is a 12-month program. If you found that entertaining for whatever reason, but if you found it informative, my Cash App is $ Austin Holloman, PayPal Austin Holloman at Gmail, and Zelle Austin Holloman at Gmail. And share the video with somebody that's interested in becoming a digital nomad. I love you guys. I'll see you guys next time.